happy to be back. And we have two new speakers with us. We have Valentina Elegante, our Associate Director of Creative and Content at Direct Agents, and Catherine Grabowski, who is our Senior Creative and Content Specialist. And for the first 45 minutes or so of this webinar today, we've been talking about AI more as it pertains to data analysis and campaign optimizations and the nerdy stuff, right? There's a whole other side to marketing, which we have not really touched on yet, which is the creative side. And this creative side of things is being impacted and advanced through AI tools just the same. So we want to make sure that we end with a great discussion on this side of things. So opening it up to Valentina and Catherine, I'll start with just a broad question. Give us some insight into how you're utilizing different AI tools into your day-to-day workflows as you're working on creative projects.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think any creative professional or anyone on any sort of design team is aware that project management processes really can make or break a creative project or creative deliverables. So everyone's probably seen the final version 15 that probably isn't even the final version yet. So making sure that we have these processes in place to have a very efficient workflow is very important to the success of our creative outcomes. So here at Direct Agents, we use a variety of tools. We use ClickUp to monitor projects and timelines. We use Miro and Frame.io, which is really for the final presentation. And we use Figma as a collaborative design tool. So Figma is essentially like a giant whiteboard. So you can have multiple designers on the board at one time, collaborating, adding notes, updating designs. And we use this for a lot of our web design and static design projects. Well, Figma actually just recently acquired Diagram, which is an AI integration. So this is really allowing for a lot more sophisticated design tools through the platform. So if you can see in the video on the left here, they now have generative AI where you can type something such as albums, and Figma will automatically recommend different interfaces that you could use on this mockup. So saves a lot of time on the design side when we're designing these web pages. And then they also have the Magician tool, which will automatically recommend icons or images or copy that really fits and feels cohesive with the design that you're already creating. So this is just one of the many examples in ways that these programs that we're using are becoming way more sophisticated and really helping us to be more efficient in our day-to-day workflows.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see like version final V16 again. But as you're saying that, I'm seeing that these are tools that allow our creatives and designers to get to that final product faster, not necessarily creating something that would have been otherwise different.
Yeah, exactly.
And that perfectly segments it to just how crucial that foundation is within that project management and that concepting, but we're also able to integrate these different tools when we're actually executing. A perfect example here that has saved just so much time is rotoscoping. So for those of you who don't know what rotoscoping is, it's essentially the process in which video editors have to manually outline frame by frame the certain subject. So you'll see on the video here on the left how time consuming it actually is, because it's every single point with every single motion just to specifically edit the subject or edit the background separately. But now with this AI integration, with a couple of points, we're able to map out that subject. The AI is able to understand and really just scan the scene to see what that subject is and pan it out throughout the rest of the scene and really just moving forward. But all this new time, again, saving days or upon weeks, just allows the video editors to focus on the larger picture. What is the goal of the video? Are we actually hitting that? Do we want to provoke, or are we evoking the emotions that we were really intending in the beginning? So this is just a really cool tool, Jackson, what you said, of not replacing, but just doing the stuff that we were already doing, just in a much quicker fashion.
Yeah, and that's a great example of a specific workflow where that output is expedited. And I know there's many others, just like this, that kind of get us to those finished products faster. But what I want to know is, any creative project, there's so many different phases of it, right? From the brainstorming and initial ideation to coming up with messaging concepts and different design concepts. Can you kind of walk us through how we are using AI at different stages of the creative process?
Yeah, absolutely. So AI can really be used as a collaborative tool that we can tap into from campaign ideas and copywriting to final design. So for example, on the campaign ideation phase, I put a sample brief into an AI tool. So think of this as almost a creative brief where I'm telling the tool, okay, what's the client? What is the campaign goal? What are the overall brand goals and who's the target audience? So really summarizing all of our findings and research into this brief. And then ChatGPT was able to deliver me 4 or 5 overall campaign concepts with assets included. So then as a creative strategist, I'm able to review these concepts and pull out, okay, which campaign really makes most sense for our brand goals, our project restrictions, and our overall project goals, and able to refine and tweak that. So I'm not spending time on that initial brainstorming phase because I really have a jumping off point from these AI tools. And then on the next slide, putting this back into these AI tools for copywriting, so I can get a video script, asset copy for paid social campaign, even hashtag campaigns for influencers to use. But this is really, again, just a jumping off point. So copywriters can then focus on refining and tweaking and making sure that this copy is optimized for each specific campaign. But even taking it a step further and say we want to talk to CMOs and college students. So taking that final copy, putting it back into those tools and saying, okay, speak to me like a CMO or speak to me like a college student. So again, we're really using this as setting the foundation and the framework for a campaign. So we're able to spend more time making sure that this really aligns strategically with our overall goals.
One thing that I'm noticing here too is, we all know this, like the quality of the outputs from these generative tools like ChatGPT or Bard are really dependent on the quality of the prompt. And so I noticed that to get these good outputs, we're feeding it a lot of information and data about exactly what we're looking for. And for anyone out here who's listening, we're happy to walk you through some of our tactics for doing that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And continuing the pre-production process, this is actually in beta right now, but I'm very excited because this would be very useful for our team, is the storyboard creation feature. So what we're able to do is take that final script, upload it into the platform, and it will create visuals for the storyboard. So you'll see in the video here, we upload that script and you're able to give details like we want to have an exterior shot, we want to have a wide angle shot versus a close-up hero shot, and it will create scene by scene what we're looking for. And this is really one of the main components within the pre-production phase because it sets the tone of the visuals. What is that production going to look like? What do we need? What shots we really need to make sure that we nail? And also this is the time that it takes the most because we're going back and forth with the client or the different teams to really make sure that we nail it. So something like this allows us to free up resources from our graphic design team and make sure that people like Catherine and I or our video team are able to just continue to plug in and refine. So although it's in the beta mode, we're super excited to see this one. And on the next slide here, this is a tool that is exciting for the post-production. So now that we've gone out into the world, we've gotten that original production, we got all the shots that we needed, we're able to use this assistant editor to create that first round. That's the one that really takes the most time because not only does the video team need to go through scene by scene, see what's out there, see what we've gathered, but also now figure out what that storyboard is going to look like. But with here, we're able to upload our script, again, that finalized script that we've been working on since the beginning, and input all of the footage that we captured, and it will set that foundation. So in the example, it said, find B-roll for this scene. It will pull the B-roll that most aligns with that voiceover there and just map it out. So the video editors are able to go in and now refine. Do we want to switch out that scene, or do we actually really like it? And now we only have to focus on color correcting or things like that. And really the cherry on top here, it also syncs up to any original music or music that you've uploaded as well. So all those tedious tasks that really just take a while to just get to that first version, we're able to use these tools and free up more time to how do we make it the best that we can. So these are just really exciting tools that and our video team has been very eager to continue to use.
Yeah, these are really great examples of different workflows that are just made much more efficient with the technologies that we have available today. And it is pretty crazy to think of like how much more quickly we can do some of these workflows than we have in years past. And it frees up more time holistically for our creative teams to do that creative ideation and design work. And to that point, like I know that there's a lot of discussion out there around generative AI tools working with creating new visuals, whether it's automated videos or images. But are you using those in that capacity? What is really the right balance between the human creativity and using AI tools for those workflows?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really is about finding that balance, like Jackson, you mentioned. It's about making our workflows more efficient. Rather than replacing our designers, our design teams are able to work with these AI tools. So there are certain human skills that AI currently can't replicate. So things like curiosity and observation. An AI tool is taking a series of inputs, it's generating some sort of output. Maybe that's copy, maybe that's some sort of design asset or video, but it's really not able to take a holistic view of the creative campaign and uncover gaps, find holes or inefficiencies, and see where we can really push the boundaries creatively. So this is really about making our initial brainstorming phases more efficient. This image here on the left, the elephant butterfly, this was an example that the Harvard Business Review pulled. They asked an AI tool, okay, make me a combination of an elephant and a butterfly. So they received this image on the left here, and they were able to re-input it back into that AI tool and say, okay, what's a series of products we could create using this image as inspiration? So now they have 40 product images on the right here, and they're saving their team time from having to go through all this initial iterations and initial brainstorming, whereas now their team can pick maybe three images that are most relevant and continue to refine and optimize from there. So again, it's really about being more efficient in our workflow and thinking about these AI tools as assistants to our workflow rather than replacements.
Exactly. On the next slide here, I pulled one of the quotes actually from that article that I think sums it up perfectly, that the greatest power of these generative AI tools is not to replace humans, but to just fuel us and help us create these unimaginable solutions. This is really meant to be a resource for those creatives who maybe haven't had the resources to create, or maybe didn't have the technical skills to bring their visions to life. Now, that ability to do so, it'll help brands experiment a little bit more, move a little bit faster. So it really is meant to supercharge everything that we've been working on, and I know our creative team has really much embraced it because they see it as that. They see it as a tool rather than a threat. So I just think that this quote here really embodies that position.
I definitely think that's true. I think that is this point here is true actually across all of the different applications of AI that we've talked about today, but I think none more than in the creative side of things. Also, I think Catherine, on what you were speaking to before, I just want to call out. I think that tool that was being used for that was Midjourney, in case anyone was interested. What is the most creative way you've seen a brand leverage AI in creative in their campaigns?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this video. I'm sure many of you guys have seen it. It's gone viral, and rightfully so. It is the campaign that Orange did for the France women's national team for soccer. It's really awesome. It is a reel of these incredible moments in the game. There's goals, there's saves, people are pivoting, the music, if you actually hear it separately, it just gets you going, and it's really exciting. And then about halfway through the video, you realize that all of these key moments were actually performed by the women's national team. So not only are they using these awesome technologies to essentially fool you, but the bigger message is that women's sports is as exciting, or arguably more exciting, than the men's team. So it was just really cool to see how such brilliant minds came up with this concept, but then also adding that layer of answering a kind of social norm and something super relevant right now as the Women's World Cup is on. So I just thought this was super cool. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you watching it from the beginning, but from here you can see how it's really changed. So super awesome.
Yeah, and I love this campaign from GoFundMe that they released at the beginning of the year. You can see on the video on the left here, it's a 2-minute animated video that they created utilizing a design team and then also a series of AI tools. So their design team was able to work with these AI tools to really refine and tweak until they got this final artistic style where it felt like every frame is its own painting. And then on the video on the right here, we see using real life actors and overlaying this design style onto these videos of real people and tweaking and refining until they finally got this frame by frame animated video. And then finally, their design team actually went in and made sure that every frame, every object was in this really painting-like design style to make sure that it was this seamless animated video. So I really loved this example because it's such a great example of ways that we can again make our workflow so much more efficient when our design teams are working with these AI tools.
Really cool examples. I love these. Thank you, guys. I think those were really awesome examples of how we can use, and we are using, and hopefully that our listeners can use to just make the creative process more efficient.